Hello everybody. Today we are talking about what not to say to somebody when they confide with you and tell you that they or someone they care about has been diagnosed with a serious illness or medical condition. My name's Dawn Dickinson and the channel is about living your best life, and today I'm going to use a recent example of something that just happened within my family within the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to give you some of the comments that people have told me. I'm going to tell you what things were helpful and what things were not helpful in case someone you love tells you that I have a serious illness or I have a medical condition, and this will help you encourage them and not discourage them, which will actually make their recovery more difficult. So have you ever found out about somebody who has something for a long time and they never tell you, and you wonder, like, why didn't you share with me? Well, I think I recently found out why people don't share this type of information. So just a few weeks ago, I'm not going to use real names here because this is kind of personal, but somebody who was very important to my daughter found out that he's got a fist-sized tumor in the right temporal lobe of his brain, and this tumor is cancerous. Now, this is a very sweet, wonderful young man, about 25 years old. I'm going to call him Jay. And if he is important to my daughter, then he's important to me. And if my daughter loves him, then I love him. So now when we're talking about now this young man needing brain surgery to remove a large tumor, a large cancerous tumor from his brain, of course, everyone in the family is anxious and worried and hoping for the best, praying for a good outcome for this newly discovered medical issue. So again, I don't want to call everybody and ask for advice, but sometimes when I call people and tell them what happened, I just want a little bit of shoulder to cry on, or maybe a little bit of encouragement. Have you heard of anything like this? And I can tell you what I don't need to hear and what I am not going to pass on to my daughter. Now, I personally had a boyfriend pass away at 34 years old, and I know how devastating it is for a person to lose someone they love, especially when they are a very young age. So once we found out that Jay had been diagnosed with a brain tumor needing brain surgery to remove a large chunk of a right temporal lobe, I did tell a few people just because I was feeling sad and hoping somebody would have an encouraging thought. One of the first things somebody said was, "Oh wow, your odds of surviving that are not even as good as winning the lottery." Well, thanks a lot. Do you think I want to hear that? Do you think I want to pass that along to my daughter? Like, why would you tell me something like that? First of all, are you a doctor? And even if you are a doctor and know that your odds of surviving that are not as good as winning the lottery, like, why the hell would somebody say that to me? So let me tell you some of the other things people said to me. "Oh, my cousin had a brain tumor and he went in for surgery, and during the surgery they paralyzed him from the neck down, and then he died within 2 years." Well, that's, encouraging. I'm going to share that with my daughter. Or the other one said, "Oh, my brother-in-law had a brain tumor and it's come back 3 times, and after the 3rd time they said they're not going to remove it again. They're just going to let him die." Again, you think I'm sharing that with my daughter? No, I'm not sharing any doomsday scenario with my daughter. And I'm not sure why a person would share that with me. Are you trying to make me even more upset than I already am? I am not sure why you would say that. Now, a couple of things that people have said that were kind of pretty good to hear. I had my own cousin say, "I had a brain tumor and they removed it, and it was just a big fatty mass, and it was tough, but within 90 days I had healed up and everything was fine." Ooh, that's a good story to share. Or how about the post I saw on Facebook, which I wish I could see that one again, where it showed a picture of a bride and a groom, and it said, "My son had cancerous brain tumor removed when he was 12, and look at him on his wedding day." That's the kind of encouragement I would like to hear. Or, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to say a prayer for you." Or, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything I can do? Or do you just want a shoulder to cry on?" That's something that might be nice to say to somebody. Or, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to be sending positive energy and healing thoughts to you. That is something that will give support to a person who is worried and anxious about their loved one's outcome. Don't say, oh, I looked that up on Google and it says people with this type of tumor have a life expectancy of 12 months to 2 years. Well, that's great. So I got a 25-year-old that has a 12-month expectancy to live, and I'm supposed to share that with my daughter. So let me tell you again why I think the doomsday scenario is so bad for a person's recovery. First of all, the person who is the patient, say Jay. Jay needs to go into surgery encouraged, positive, thinking good thoughts, thinking he's got a good outcome and it's going to be a tough road, but you're going to make it and everybody in here loves you. That's what Jay, the patient, needs to think. Now, all the people that love him that are going to be sitting in the waiting room for 6 hours while the surgery is being performed, they also need to be as positive as they can, because the vibe that you're setting off for the patient who is receiving the vibe needs to be positive. You're going to have a much better outcome, much better chance of recovery, much better chance of surviving chemotherapy or occupational therapy, physical therapy, whatever is going to follow this surgery where they're removing a quarter of your brain. Everybody needs to be positive. Everybody needs to be sending him love and positive vibes so that he is positive, so that he has the best chance of recovering from the situation and healing. You need to be positive. You need to send love and not doomsday that, oh, you got 12 months to live, or, oh, you got a better chance being hit by lightning. Don't do that to people. I don't understand why you would do that. So I'm going to give you an update on Jay. He did have brain surgery on Tuesday. They removed a large part of his right temporal lobe. He came out of surgery seeming okay. Groggy, of course, a little bit of pain. Oddly enough, hospital thinks they should send him home in 2 days, which I think that's kind of weird, but okay, they took him home. Now he's been sent back to the hospital because he's in severe pain, and he has also have fever. That does worry me. Still, I'm sending love, prayer, positive outcome, anything they need. I'm trying to be supportive as I can. I do think Jay is going to have a full recovery, but I am, of course, worried, and I do realize that there's going to be a lot of follow-up care in order to help him recover to his fullest. Now, I am going to, at some point, I may not do it right away, put up a GoFundMe link to help with the medical expenses. Again, even with insurance, this is going to be a tremendous amount of expense for the family. Now, I'm not expecting anybody to want to donate to the fund. I'm just putting it up there in case you do feel like you would like to donate to medical bills. Already just upon release of the hospital for the first wave was a large bill, and there's a lot of follow-up care and also returning to the hospital. But what I am trying to say here in this video is just please be supportive to people. Please do not be negative Nelly and putting out all the statistics how this person is going to die. So another thing to be considered of is all of these doomsday scenarios that I'm hearing about are probably people who are at least 60 years old who are going to have a less likely positive outcome than somebody who is 25. When you're 25, you still have a lot of youth in the brain more able to regenerate whatever it needs to recover from such things. So again, when you're giving doomsday scenarios for somebody who was 75, it's very not comparative to a 25 who is suffering a similar condition. But again, the whole theme to this video is please be positive, please be supportive. If you have a horrible doomsday scenario that you are immediately thinking about, maybe keep that to yourself. Maybe later on, after the person recovers or whatever, maybe share it then. But certainly upon hearing that your friend, your loved one, your person you're talking to has a potentially life-threatening illness, please do not start spewing out doomsday scenario of how this person's going to die and to prepare for that. So again, I'm sorry to be on a lecture of how you need to treat people, but my goodness, I've just been so overwhelmed by this experience and the support. Now, I have had many friends very supportive. I will pray for him. That's probably the best. Or I'm going to send Reiki healing, or I'm going to send positive energy. I'm going to meditate. That kind of stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate anything positive, but please spare me the doomsday scenario. Somebody else in my family is going to lose a loved one at a very young age. So again, thanks for listening to me. My name is Dawn Dickinson. The intent of my channel and the video here is to just send out advice, what I think is good advice. You can take it if it resonates with you, or you can just dismiss it if it doesn't, on how we can all live a better life on this planet Earth.